again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week, but not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews and your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly, fans, brews, and Broncos news. What is up, Orange Weekly crew and fans and Broncos fans and everybody out there? Glad you're here for another episode of the Orange Weekly Postgame podcast. Rob and I are here with you today to discuss, in as best and fun of a fashion we can, the Broncos 15-10 loss at home against the Bengals in what they dubbed themselves to be a playoff game. Really, for both teams, it was a playoff game in a sense. And one team showed that they're just a little bit more playoff worthy than the other. And unfortunately, that team was not the Broncos. So here we are, Rob. Officially, per Jared's own calculations, we have a 4% chance to get into the playoffs.
God damn it, Kevin. Fuck. I just, I don't, you know what?
Oh, no! We suck again!
Yeah, we do. And it's an absolute shame because we should have won that game.
Oh, yeah.
There was
a lot of reasons we should have, won that game. Obviously, look, if your defense can hold a team to under 20 points, your team should win the vast majority of those games. And here we are again, where our defense did a really good job containing Joe Burrows. The rushing attack for the Bengals averaged 4.3 yards per carry. So could have done a little bit better on run stopping. But we held them to 15 points at the end of the day, except our offense is just unable to do anything, man.
Yeah, I there's just no words for it, Kevin. The coaching is absolutely horrendous.
Yep.
And granted, we weren't doing terribly bad, and then the unthinkable happened, and Teddy Bridgewater went down with an injury, which I kind of feel like it's my fault, and I apologize. But then again, why did he hurdle? Like, he's not a hurdler.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just go down or slide?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't, and I'm going to borrow a phrase from Pat McAfee, but T's and P's out to Teddy Bridgewater. Glad that he's okay.
Exactly.
I don't see him playing this next week.
No.
No. Definitely do not. So, with that being said, let's take a gander at Drew Lock's numbers.
This
Drew
is
Lock,
not the situation which I expected us to see Drew Lock in that, we're going to be playing him because Teddy's hurt at the end of the year. At this point, 4% chance to make the playoffs. Essentially, we're not going to be in the playoffs. Like, if people out there want to believe, like, look, we're now, sorry, Jared, you're out there and you're like, we're not mathematically eliminated, man. go for it. All the power to you. Me, I'm going to sit over here and just, okay, well, let's start looking to next year. And that's where we look at, hey, is Drew Lock a viable backup? Is he, worthy of keeping on our team to be a backup? And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing for Teddy's health more than anything, Teddy just sitting out the rest of the year. There's nothing he's going to gain by playing in the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, looking at Drew Lock's number, he was 6 for 12, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. But I don't know, man. I feel like, and I know this is going to get a lot of flack, but I feel like Fangio is stonewalling Drew Lock. I still think that he has some talent. The problem is he's not getting reps. He's not getting a good coaching staff around him, and that's going to be a problem. And I had a conversation with a coworker today about it. Caesar, he's a fan of Orange Weekly. We've seen him on here before. But I feel like Denver is either going to let Drew Lock walk, or they're going to trade him to get something out of it. And he's going to go to another team and he's going to flourish, and we're going to look like a bunch of jackasses again. I mean, it unfortunately, those are the 2 options. Either we keep him as a backup and give him, a good coaching staff, a good offensive coordinator, somebody that is competent and able to give him the tools and the information that he needs and give him the reps and everything to evolve and grow as a player. Or we're not, and then he's going to flourish somewhere else.
Right.
And, I'll be damned if I see Drew Lock go to the Raiders or the Chiefs because, he is a Missouri, a Missouri Tiger. He's a Missouri product. But, I mean, how much would that suck if he went to the Chiefs, sits behind Pat Mahomes, gets really good, and then Pat Mahomes goes down and Drew Lock comes in and lights it the fuck up? It's, it's a shame because, like I said, I'm still one of the believers that I personally feel like Drew Lock has the talent and the ability. He just doesn't have the tools around him to make that jump and make that leap.
Yeah. People are going to be pointing at, each time he's been out on the field this year, he's had a turnover. And this last one was by far the worst. And, one, it starts with the play call from Pat Shurmur. That play call was, I don't agree with it. If you're going to run it, do a, play action pass or something, but an RPO, I don't get. But of course, if it had worked, I mean, we'd be saying, okay, well, that was a great call for once, but it's not the case.
Well, it's a flip of the coin at this point, Kev.
Well, yeah, exactly. But then you look at, why didn't, and I can't show you, because this is a pre-recorded podcast, but the picture of what everything looked like while Drew Lock was making that decision to hand the ball off to Javonte Williams or not. But there was a huge hole right in the middle, and Javonte would have been one-on-one with a linebacker, but for some reason there was some reason that Drew Lock decided to hold onto the ball and get it stripped right. I mean, it's not even stripped. I mean, he kind of just like, blah, like, here, you have it, hot potato. I don't want this anymore. It didn't even look like, Drew Lock got hit and it came loose. The guy just kind of reached for it and just literally plucked it. He was like, mine now, bye. Like, that's how easy it was.
Even Peyton Manning had the damn, mind to just go, oh, shit, and fall to the ground. Mm-hmm. Like, that would have been better than anything.
Yeah.
But, and again, this goes back to your commentary during our halftime show when you were at the stadium. We did not play to get a fucking touchdown,
no.
And then we go to get the field goal, and McManus, I mean, he misses once or twice a year, and this is the time that he picks to miss it.
Yeah.
Even watching the replay, snap looked good, hold looked good, even his swing looked good, and it just, nope, not today.
It was 4th and 1, and you still gave the Bengals 9 seconds on the clock. And I know we're kind of jumping around all over the place. There's just a lot to talk about. So let's focus on that for a second here. Playoff teams that win in the playoffs don't approach that situation, that 2-minute situation with, let's just see if we can get in field goal range. They go for the touchdown. They say this is a playoff game. In this case, both teams are playing for their playoff lives. Fangio is playing for his job. He's coaching for his job. And the play calls are very much dink and dunk, short passes, runs. Let's combination of kill the clock, but just get enough yardage to get in field goal range. No hustle, no aggression. I mean, this team lacks the ability to be aggressive, and that comes from coaching. I mean, this is a chance where look, at the time we were 1-22 under 1-21 under Fangio when we are losing at halftime. Now we're 1-22 when we're losing at halftime under Fangio. Our home record is atrocious under Fangio, but all these things, like, you're just going to go up there and say, yeah, well, if we can just get a field goal at halftime and then come back out, and get the ball and add to the lead. No, why are we not going for, more aggressive plays to go for that touchdown? And guess what? If we don't get that touchdown, at least we're probably going to be in a lot better field goal position than we were, but the whole thing, and that's, if you heard me on the halftime hash, absolutely livid that we just go out there and we have 3 timeouts, the 2-minute warning, we're on the 25-yard line or whatever. And we just, we're just purely going to go for getting into that 50-ish yard field goal position.
Yeah, and Kevin, I'm glad you brought up the timeout situation, because I was literally screaming at my TV, it's the second quarter. Why the fuck do we still have all 3 of our timeouts?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second half comes, the fourth quarter, and we're just going to use the last timeout. Like, are you dumb?
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God, anybody listening, if you have Vic Fangio's address or know somebody that can get him coaching for dummies 101, I really think it might help him. Probably not, but it might help
be a little late. I don't know. This has been something that he very clearly has not learned over 3 years. And at this point, what is it going to take for him to learn how to use his timeouts? There was that injury timeout at the end of the game there. If Fangio had kept his timeout, the Bengals could have run the clock down to 2:10-ish or whatever before they got a playoff, right? Then you'd have the 2-minute warning, and then you have a timeout after that. So why do you then, after the player injury timeout, decide to take your own timeout to prevent them from running the clock down? Now you only have 1 clock stoppage. So essentially you cut yourself from 2 clock stoppages down to 1 in that situation. Yeah, the whole thing is mind-boggling. So you have timeouts to spare at halftime, giving the Bengals 9 seconds on the clock where they don't need much to get in field goal range themselves, especially in Denver. Dude, the whole thing, and then you can go back to McManus. Hey man, how did you miss that kick? Like that you're McMoney. Like that should be easy for you here in Denver. The blame goes all the way around. To me, the blame doesn't just go to the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks had their issues, but it goes all the way around. Coaching, players. We haven't even mentioned Sutton, who had 3 drops.
Sutton and Judy both. They both. Even Tim Patrick had a drop. Granted, Tim. And you know what? Now that we bring up Tim Patrick, what in the hell is wrong with him getting that damn taunting penalty? Like, they're gonna call it. You just scored a touchdown. All eyes are on you. Why would you point at the opponent and then make a small man gesture?
Right.
Like, come on. You got to have a little bit more freaking common sense for this shit. And Garrett Bowles, I swear to God, if he reverts back into this, I'm going to hold 3, 4, 5 times a game. He's another one. I don't care if he signed the big contract or not. Get him the fuck out of town.
Mm-hmm.
It's ludicrous. And it's like at the most important time that we need to be on point with every single little aspect of the game. And these guys just fucking have a brain
Fall
fart.
apart.
I just don't understand it.
If there was something I could say here to help make sense of it all, I would, but I have nothing, man.
Yeah, nothing.
The
I got nothing.
The only thing I do have to say is, look, here's where we're at. The fact of the matter is the Broncos came out there knowing that this was a playoff game for them, saying out loud, this is a playoff game for us, that the future, our destiny's in our hands. And the Bengals are the one that showed up showing that they wanted to be in the playoffs. The Broncos didn't at home.
Yeah, and that's severely disappointing. And if Pat Bowlen was here, he'd be in that locker room chewing everybody's ass out, every last one of them, every coach, assistant coach, player, hell, even the damn equipment manager and the water boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Looking forward, as Christmas is right around the corner. So, Kev, I'm just going to say on behalf of Orange Weekly, I want to wish you, all the Orange Weekly crew, family, friends, and all the great followers and listeners a very Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has a great holiday. But looking forward, day after Christmas, we are in Las Vegas against the Las Vegas Raiders, who just won tonight by a last-second field goal. Then we got LA Chargers. I want to be correct on that. And then we end the season against the Chiefs. So, the only chance we have to make the playoffs is if we win out the next 3 games. And I see maybe 1, maybe 2 wins, but I don't know. We're going to need a lot of help from other teams.
Well, look, and I hate being the Debbie Downer. I can only wear my orange sunglasses a certain amount before I have to take them off and see what's really going on. Look, we're on the road the next 2 games against the Raiders, who are playing for a playoff spot. They're still in the hunt. So us losing helped them out a ton. Then we're on the road to LA against the Chargers, who are trying to get into the playoffs. And then we're playing the Chiefs at home, who we've lost to 12 times in a row. I'm sorry. I honestly do not see us winning any of these games. I don't. There's no urgency in the team. There's no aggressive play calling. There's not. This team is not made to be in the playoffs, and they're showing it in their attitude, in their play calling, in their execution of the plays on the field. So why do I think that we'd go into town against teams that are, trying really hard to get in the playoffs and that we're just going to beat them? No, I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening. And that goes to coaching as well, the culture of the team. And that's where we can get into the conversation later on. I mean, not necessarily in today's show, but, at the end of the season when we're trying to see who the next coach is going to be, I really am hoping we bring in someone like Dan Quinn from the Cowboys, who is going to be able to, while he's not offensively minded, he's going to be able to change the culture of the team. And that's what this team needs, is a complete cultural makeover. And so that's where
absolutely.
we're at right now.
I agree with you. We need to bring in, and my personal 2 cents, I would like to see a young coach come in there, somebody that can fire these guys the fuck up, because they sure as hell don't have no get-go, coming out, down. And again, before they scored that touchdown, the game was close. I mean, it was close. Mm-hmm. They weren't scoring. We weren't scoring. And, it's just we fell asleep at the wheel again. And, I would like to see, I don't know. Dan Quinn was with the Falcons, and granted, they didn't do terrible under Dan Quinn. But there towards the end, it didn't look good. Mm-hmm. I think we definitely need an offensive coordinator that's competent and, and can hold his own calling offensive plays.
So my question to you, and look, we're going to have a ton of time to have these conversations, man.
Oh boy, here it goes.
That would be our 3rd brand new head coach in a row. And you're saying that you want somebody who will, instead of be the head coach figure, they'll be more of the play caller than the head coach.
I see where you're going with this, Kevin. So let me elaborate.
I'm just saying.
No, I get it. You want a head coach that has experience. Totally understand that. Yep. I get it. I don't think, in my opinion, that Dan Quinn is that guy.
Okay.
I think Dan Quinn is better off, calling defenses. He's defensive minded. Hell, Vic Fangio, for the most part, is pretty damn good at calling defenses. I mean, we shut down Burrow for the most part.
Yeah.
We shut down Herbert. He still is a pretty dang good defensive coordinator, but I just don't think the team is like willing to run through a fucking wall for that guy. And that's the kind of coach that we need. We need a coach that the players want to run through a damn wall for and give everything they got, every play, every snap. And I just don't know if Dan Quinn is that guy. I think a younger guy coming in that's a little more, like I keep saying, younger, resilient and kind of has that spit and vinegar to him, I think would be a nice change than these coaches that we've been getting that just kind of stand on the sideline. I mean, look at Vance Joseph. He looked confused on the sideline every goddamn time too.
Yeah.
And now we got Vic Fangio, who's 60-something years old, and he looks confused on the sideline. Like, can we get somebody that knows what's going on at that time and doesn't have this like, what do I do now? Look.
So like, you want to get somebody who's never had head coaching experience and think that they're not going to do that?
Hey, if he can rally the team and make them want to run through a wall for him, hell yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. Broncos country is going to be very split on this, just like we are.
Oh, 100%.
And it's going to make things very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening right now behind the scenes. I mean, the whole potential, will the team be sold or not thing is going to play into this. One thing you got to keep in mind is Fangio was one of the ones that decided or voted on bringing in George Payton. So there could be a little bit of a loyalty thing there. Let's say I'm completely wrong. And in some ways, I hope I am. And the Broncos win the next 3 games. I don't think it's going to happen. I would bet a lot of money if I was a betting man. I'll talk to Ray from Ragers. Maybe he'll give me the odds on this. But if the Broncos won the next 3 games, I don't know. They might bring back Fangio. I don't know, man. There's just there's many different scenarios here that could play out that involve Shermer getting fired, Fangio staying another year, or signing another 3-year contract, 2-year contract.
Oh, dear God, don't put that out into the universe.
Dude, this is just where we're at. The Broncos are in a very it's a very fluctuating time right now.
Quasi state.
Yeah, it is. Now, will the new owner really care who the new head coach is? Probably not. I don't think that they're going to come in and say, it's June. I don't like who and now I'm officially the new owner. I don't like who you picked as a new head coach. So we're getting somebody else. Like, they're not going to care. They're going to have bigger things to worry about for the time being.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin, because I just want to put this out into the universe. I think it was on Twitter, if I believe, but there was an article that says there's I don't know how big of a possibility, I'm going to say small possibility, that Peyton Manning might be in the discussion about owning the Broncos. And please, for the love of God, football gods, make that shit happen. Please.
I also would be praying to the football gods, because to say that there's a small chance of that happening is putting it. I mean, there's a microscopic chance. Now, I'm sure he's getting calls. I'm sure he's listening. But if you think about it, he made $400 million over his NFL career. The team's going to sell for roughly $3.75 billion. If he has an ownership role, it's going to be a very small ownership role in this team. Now, because he's Peyton Manning, and if that happened, what would his role look like? how big of a role would it be? I don't know. I really don't. But he even said a couple months ago, like, I don't have $3 million in my pocket to, he doesn't have or $3 billion. He's like, I don't even have $1 billion in my pocket, basically. So, dude, I think right now there's a lot of, we're getting to the point of the year where there's just gonna be a lot of rumors, and it's gonna be interesting to see which ones pan out, which ones don't, to be, truthful or not.
Yeah, no, we're definitely getting to that point where it's just gonna.
I hurt, man. I hate this time. It's like, here we go again, 6 years in a row, and it just like, the Broncos suck. We suck again. Oh no, we suck again.
Oh no, we suck again.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It hurts.
It definitely does. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just the gullible one of the group, but I still believe in hope. Damn it! Right? There's still hope.
There's hope. There's a 4% chance hope, but there's hope, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And so all the power to you.
There's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance, and if it's not a 0% chance. So I'll give you that. I will give you that. Now, if you want a chance at something, we do have an offer for you all of our listeners right now, that is a much better chance of winning than winning a bet of Peyton Manning becoming an owner of the Broncos. We all love action-packed, high-scoring NFL games. We've got 3 weeks left in the NFL, but the latest no-brainer from DraftKings Sportsbook, you're going to be a winner once a single point is scored in a game. New customers who bet just $1 on any team to score can win $100 in free bets. It's really that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still get in on the NFL action. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes all season long with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports Contest. And DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Now, here's what you all need to go do. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. Bet $1 on any team to score, and you win $100 in free bets. If they score, you score with promo code TPPN this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Of course, you must be 21 years or older in a state that has sports betting. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I root for you every time to make it through that read with no
almost
mistakes.
made it this time. I almost made it this time.
Oh, damn it.
Almost.
That's
you should start betting on that. You have better. Maybe not.
Hit, wink, wink. Yeah, shit, man. I don't even want to go through the rest of the stats. Let's see. Javonte Williams, 15 carries for 72 yards, 4.8 average. We have Melvin Gordon just behind him, same amount of carries, 53 yards, 3.5 average. So, I mean, that right there tells you that our running game, we were splitting the carries between each back pretty freaking evenly, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. But Javonte Williams just had the better hand in that game. And for some ungodly reason, Shurmur did Pat Shurmur things and went away from the run game. Our leading receivers were our tight ends.
2 weeks in a row now.
Alberto, 3 for 58, no touchdowns. Noah Fant, 5 for 57, no touchdowns. And then you got Tim Patrick, 3 for 42, with 1 touchdown. And, like I said before, Tim Patrick's ass just I hate the taunting rule. I hate the taunting rules.
Idiotic.
I hope to God that they change that shit because
They won't. The NFL is messed up.
It's a bunch of crusty old white guys that are like, I don't like taunting. Man.
Yeah. It hurts my feelings. Like, these are grown ass men. Like, come on.
If somebody wants to look at them and flip them off and say F you, throw the flag. But if they're just celebrating,
right?
I mean, Tim Patrick got called for taunting for pointing at a player. For pointing. We cannot even point, people. We cannot even point.
Nope.
We cannot point. We cannot point.
Hey, flag.
Oh, shit.
People can't see it, but I'm being pointed at. That's it. I'm going to find you.
It's ridiculous. Go ahead. Go ahead. Find me. I dare you. I'm going to send you an IOU, and then on the back of it, it's going to have a nice 4-letter word with a U
Love?
underneath it.
Love?
Sure. We'll go with that. I don't. Yeah, I mean, our defense, really did their job this game. I know it doesn't seem like that because we lost by 5.
No,
but
they did.
I mean, honestly, Joe Burrow had the 1 touchdown to Tyler Boyd, and that was it. I mean, our defense is showing up every week, but fuck, we got to get some help from our offense. We got to get help from our offensive line and open these freaking holes. And we got to get help from our offensive coordinator. I'm talking to you, Pat Shurmur.
Yep. Now there's a multitude of things wrong with this team, and they're just evident. Look, to be honest, the Bengals aren't a playoff team either. Are they going to maybe squeeze in the playoffs? Yeah, but they're not really a playoff team, but they look like more of a playoff team than we did.
Yeah, and the sad part is they took over their division.
Yeah,
they knocked the Ravens out of the top spot in their league. They're the whatever they are, the
division leaders or whatever. Yeah.
And if the Ravens come back this week and beat the crap out of the Bengals, they're going to take that spot right back over, and then the Bengals are going to be back in the same position they were before Sunday. So, we had everything to play for, and we didn't do the job. We didn't, we didn't finish the job. But
one other thing to keep in mind with this is the Bengals had an easier, a slightly easier schedule than we did this year. We still had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, and we're both in this position, right? So if the Broncos, finish the season 7-10, 8-9, 9-8, whatever, that's with having one of the easiest, if not the easiest schedule in the NFL. That just doesn't bode well, man. Like you play a mildly harder teams, you're going to be losing a lot more of those games. But again, it comes down to, you can talk all week long. This is a playoff game for us. We know the importance of this game. Our destiny is in our hands. We got to go out there and execute, go out there and play like that. And it's not to say that Teddy was doing anything in the first half. So you can't say that, well, we might have won, we probably would have won the game if Teddy hadn't gotten hurt. That probably wouldn't have been the case, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, if you're gonna say all that and then you go out and just don't execute and don't do what the fuck you're supposed to do, then we have no business even remotely being in the playoffs. And the way that the Chiefs, Raiders, and Chargers are playing, it feels like it's 4%, right now, and it's mildly depressing, to be honest. I mean, I just.
So it goes back to, with the way they played, I don't see them winning the next 3 games. Can they? Yes. Can they win some of the games? Yeah, definitely. When you're in a game, they're like, this is a game we should win because we're at home, and you go out there and play like that. It's like, where's the heart? Where's the leadership? There's none. So what makes me think that they're going to turn it around the last 3 weeks? Ideally to get in the playoffs, you needed to win the next 4. So 4% chance if we win and some other teams lose, that could go up to, 15%, 20%, maybe at the most. With 2 games left, you still got the big game at the end against the Chiefs. And you could say, yeah, well, at least it's a home game. And I'm going to look at you and say, yeah, but our home record under Fangio is crap. So what is that going to do for us? Right. I don't know. The whole thing is just, it's disappointing. I don't know, man. It hurts.
Dude, I'm telling you. I mean, if you don't mind, I'm just going to kind of run through our last 3 opponents, last 3 games. So obviously, day after Christmas, Denver comes to town in Las Vegas and plays the Raiders. They then I believe, are in Indianapolis against the Colts, which the Colts look like a damn good team. Jonathan Taylor is a fucking beast.
Yep.
And then they end the season at home against the Chargers.
Okay.
And so if we look at the Chargers next, it looks like this week they're playing Houston. They should be able to go through that game with their fucking eyes closed.
Yep.
Then they play the Broncos, and then they end again with the Raiders. So I mean, so far, out of those two teams alone, not very difficult games. If we look at the Chiefs last here, this week it looks like they're playing the Steelers, and I don't think the Steelers stand a chance, honestly. No. They're playing, looks like at home in Kansas City. And then the Bengals play the Chiefs, and then they end against the Broncos. So, we would absolutely have to be rooting for the Steelers this week and the Bengals next week.
Yeah.
Just to give us a helping hand.
Right.
Do I think that is going to actually happen? Probably not. But again, I'm the believer of still hanging on to hope, but well, you can only hope so much before you're like, fuck it.
One thing to look at there is not only are we cheering for the Chiefs, we're actually cheering for the Chiefs to win the next 2 weeks. And we're also cheering for the Patriots and the Titans to lose because they're both 9-5 right now. Basically what we want is a scenario in week 18 there, Chiefs come to Denver, and even with a loss, they would have the number 1 seed in the AFC. So that's a position where they very easily could be resting some of their starters after the first quarter, playing to not necessarily get hurt. Not to say that they're going to go out there and just not care. Like it's still a divisional game. They're going to want to go out there and keep their win streak alive, right? And you got, the very strong possibility that we're going to be out coached, by Andy Reid, because, well, that's just where we're at. It goes without saying, Reid is a better coach than Fangio is, at least in general. Well, you can talk about the whole coaching staff in general being better than the Broncos. But you want a Broncos win to end the season. I mean, that's the best case scenario. If the Chiefs have to go out there and play to win for the number 1 seed, that could be a very, 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 very ugly game.
Now, if the Chiefs win out, then playoffs go through Kansas City, right?
Yes,
I believe.
In the AFC, yep.
And that's a tough ass place to play, especially in December. January, situations. But gosh, man, I don't know.
It looks like it'd be Kansas City and Green Bay at this point. I mean, with the Cardinals losing, can we talk about the Cardinals losing to Detroit really fast? That makes me feel better. That makes me feel better. Or we beat Detroit. Like, come on, you're 10-3 at the time, playing a 2-11-1 or 1-11-1 team at the time.
And now they're 2-11-1.
You lose to them. Like, come on, man.
I literally thought, like, and I didn't watch that game. I just was checking the scores, but I literally was like, did half the team get COVID? Like, is this a replacement players type situation? Like they just got guys out of the parking lot. Like you're big enough, come play.
Come on.
Like, holy crap, man! I could not believe that. And I hope Cliff Kingsbury just lays into everybody and just. I hope they rally this week. And I'm a Broncos fan.
Right.
Unfortunately, I live right by Arizona, so I got some friends that are Cardinals fans. But shit. I hope they come out and just lay a 40 burger on the next opponent, because that's the only way I'd feel even remotely okay losing to the fucking Lions.
Well, the way I would love the Super Bowl of my liking right now would be like the Titans versus the Cardinals or something like that. But you got Green Bay is leading the NFC. Dallas is right behind them. And then the Bucks. And also Tom Brady posted his 3rd shutout against him ever last night. So that also makes you feel a little better.
Take that,
Peyton Manning and who else? Never had a shutout against him.
Against who?
In general, never had a shutout against him.
Yep, I don't know off the top of my head. Might be a good trivia question, Kev.
It would be.
Better write that
I
one
just
down.
saw the posting. There was there was Peyton Manning and somebody right now is listening to the podcast yelling. No, Drew Brees. There you go. Boom. There it is. Those two. Yep. But so just more ammunition for when they say Tom Brady's the GOAT. You just look at him and be like, nope.
Well, I mean, shit. I don't know. That whole subject. I hate Tom Brady, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Brandon Perna, but FYTB, fuck you, Tom Brady.
FYTB.
I don't care what team you're on.
Right?
You pretty son of a bitch.
Okay. Before we give some final thoughts here, I know we've gone through a lot of different topics, and we're kind of at that point of the season where there's just gonna be a lot of rumors going around, a lot of things to address, and we do appreciate all of you tuning in to either here on YouTube or iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Obviously, that's where we're at. You can, if you could give us a like, a 5-star rating, some comments, whatever. Again, we at Orange Weekly do this all for you guys. So any comments or feedback you have, anything you'd like us to do to add to the shows to make them better for you, please send them our way, and that's what we're all about. So don't forget about all of our other content. Monday Night Orange Weekly After Dark starts after the Monday Night Football game every week. Tuesday night, Bourbon Broncos, no BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And then we got the pregame and postgame podcasts. And then on game day, you got the tailgate talk about 1 hour before kickoff, and then the halftime hash, the original Broncos live halftime show. All the other ones you see out there may or may not have copied us. Either way, we started that 6 years ago, and that's what I'm going to say about that. So it is the original, and it is the best Broncos halftime show. Do not worry about listening to the TV announcers or anything like that during halftime. Open up Facebook, open up Twitter, open up YouTube, and we'll be live there for halftime, so you can share your thoughts with us on everything going on. But with that being said, Rob, some closing thoughts over to you, good sir.
My closing thoughts are, for the love of God, Broncos, pull your head out of your asses, get fired up for these last 3 weeks, and come to fucking play.
Yeah.
I can't stand the heartbreak anymore, Kev. I'm gonna cry. I can't do it.
I might have already.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
Right.
No!
Right.
No!
That's how I feel right now. Every time, every game, I'm just, no, not again.
Not again.
I'm gonna develop PTSD from this shit.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I hope the Broncos come out and prove me wrong. Show some life. If anything, to show that you're on the up and up. There's positivity heading into next season. Obviously, I don't want this team to end on a 4-game losing streak. So one, you have a chance to end the 12-game losing streak against the Chiefs. You have a chance to beat some divisional opponents. To hell with the draft, pick like that. Screw that. And if anybody out there says we need a tank for a better draft pick, if we lose the next 3 games, we're going to move up like a couple of spots, and that's nothing. So no, we're not going to tank for a better draft pick or anything like that. So let's go out there. Let's win some football games. Prove me wrong. Prove everybody wrong. Get some life in this team. Get some life in the fan base. And heading into next year with a positive mindset. So, but that's what I'm going to say about that. Rob, thanks a lot for joining me. As always, good sir. Appreciate you. And if y'all didn't see it, Rob did do his first solo show for us here at Orange Weekly on the halftime show last week. So hats off, tip of the hat to you, Rob, on that. Good job, man.
Thank you, sir.
I know it's like a recognition type of a thing,
Well,
it's a
I
big deal.
appreciate it. Like I said, hopefully I didn't let you guys down too much.
Nah, it was good, man.
But, yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to help where and when I can. So
No,
I appreciate you guys.
awesome. Okay, guys. Yeah, Debbie completely agrees. You did a great job. I'd say the same thing. So, Debbie, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to sign out here and get ready for all the other Broncos content we have for you guys coming up. And Rob will end it as we always do on a very strong Go
Broncos.
Take care, everyone.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, if it's right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.